very good evening to you. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, as usual, there's a lot to talk about on the show. Tonight is Thursday, and of course, we will travel to Washington and link up with our man, Sonny Young, from the Voice of America. He's going to be telling us what's happening from his own side. And of course, we'll hear him talk about a whole lot of issues, talking about the men's, United States men's national team, the basketball, and a whole lot happening in the United States. Here at home, we will also be talking about the 2020 African Nations Champions African Nations Championship qualifier, the must-win encounter that pits the home-based Eagles against the Sparrow Hawks of Togo. We talk about that on the show. What are the chances of overturning that first leg deficit? We'll talk about that on the show. There's a lot of confidence oozing from the camp of the home-based Eagles. The game's going to be on Saturday. We'll see what happens in that one. We'll also talk about handball. Everything has come to an end. We talk about it. We take some reactions from the participating teams as well. And we'll travel abroad at some point, take a look at the English Premier League, also take a look at one or two players, and the big one over the weekend. We'll take a look at all of that. That's the outlook of the show tonight. But before we go any further, let me bring you into all that we're doing on the show. We always like to let you know that you're an integral part of what all we do here. So this is how you can be a part of it tonight. You can get across to us on Twitter. You can also get across to us on Facebook. Just in case you're joining us for the first time, this is how you can do just that. On Facebook, you can, it's channels iPhone Sports, and of course on Twitter, it is channels_sports. Speak up and be heard across the globe. That's it right there on your screen. Speak up and be heard. You can read up on all our top stories. You have them on www.channelstv.com. You can view all of those top stories live. youtube.com/channelsweb is where you need to go. You can also go to channelstv.com if what you have is your iPad and your iPhone. Once you do that, follow the prompt. You will be able to view us live and not miss out on all that we're doing right here. Then, of course, you can download the Channels TV app for your Android and iOS from their respective stores. And once you do that, it's simple as ABC, you will be able to carry your award-winning Channels television with you everywhere you go across the globe. And that means you will not miss out on everything that we have to offer right here. Not just sports, politics, business, everything on your award-winning Channels television. All right, so let me quickly introduce my partner. Is in here with me in the studio. Always a pleasure having him take time out of his busy schedule to go on a trip across the morning, spinning world of sports with us right here in the studio. Damilola Olifade, it's good to have you join me tonight.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Yemi.
All right. Of all the things that is happening right now in the world of sports, this Thursday, what's your pick at the top of it all, top of the pile? That if you have 10 hours, you talk about. I guess maybe it's going to be the Chan Eagles.
Definitely.
Okay.
I need to ask you, how did you know that? I think it's the Chan Eagles. For me, I don't care what the first leg result is. We can't afford to lose this. And we can't afford not to qualify for the competition, the Chan Nations Cup. No excuses whatsoever. I think the preparation coming from the federation and even the reaction of the coach after the first leg loss, for me, just says a whole lot about how much we've not, how poor. I'm trying to find a better word that we've managed this team, and I think we need to get it right this time. I don't care how they will do it. I think Imama's backs are against the wall now. He must get that 3-0 victory. If he needs to get another 4-1 and go to penalties, no problem. But what is important is, at the end of the day, we must get to Cameroon.
Okay. All right. So at the end of the day, we must be in Cameroon. That's coming from Damilola. And I love to second that. I think we should be there. Let's get it right. All right, I think it's time for us to travel to Washington and link up with our man, Sonny Young, And okay, we'll try to get that later on as we go on the show. We'll try to see if we can link up with him, and of course talk about a whole lot of issues. But let me just take you back, Damlola, to I thought we were gonna go to Washington, but let's just continue with our train of thoughts, talking about the Chan Eagles. Is our reputation at stake? You know, I don't know what to say. These guys have beaten us, I think, 2, 3 times now. So
Two times.
2 times. So it's not a mistake. The first time
It's
the
not.
coach said they didn't interpret his tactics. Well, I thought a workman should not complain of his tools.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion, just thinking out loud. But here we are now, squad of 20 players being unveiled. I can't question the choice of players there. But do you think the coach, I mean, is well regarded by a lot of us? Do you think his reputation is on the line with this game?
From the moment he made that statement, his reputation is on the line. From that moment, his reputation is on the line. Don't also forget that just before that statement, I think before the first leg, I said it here. I said I have my worries before Togo. The Honda 23 that he was also leading went to Rwanda and Sudan, and they lost away from home without the foreign-based players. We had to salvage those 2 matches in the second leg when the foreign-based players were introduced into the team. And I said it. I said, this is the Chan Eagles. There is no option of bringing foreign-based players into this team. And so Imama's reputation is on the line to prove to us that he can use these home-based players and do something.
All right.
And he failed in the first leg, only for him to come back and make that statement. So for me, he himself put his own reputation on the line, and he must find a way to salvage it.
Okay, what of those of us who've always talked about these guys as being good as he gets? I mean, there have been times we've even said some of them are good enough to be playing in the Super Eagles. You look at those 2 results, and a lot of people who are pessimists will quickly point to that and say, this is the best players from the league, yet they can, defeat Togo. I mean, what do you say to all of that? Is it a question of quality of those players? Is it because the league is not on right now, or we just maybe some overconfidence somewhere?
Well, first of all, my response to anybody that says that is that before the Nations Cup this year, we missed out of 2 with largely foreign-based players. So that knocks off
That
the
kills the
argument.
argument.
That kills the argument. So you don't go there. I said it here the last time I think last week Friday, that what we're seeing with this team just says a lot about where our football is domestically at the moment. That's what it is. And that's the problem we're having. But there's a lot of things going wrong with this team. Number one is the fact that if the main Super Eagles with the foreign-based players are here and they have a qualifier against Togo, would they play at Agege Stadium? Okay. So we need to ask that question. Why is our Super Eagles? What is the Super Eagles? Why are they playing at Agege Stadium? It shows how we are handling this team. We know that before the first leg, these guys, the list came out on Tuesday when the match was supposed to be on a Saturday. Will that have happened with the main Super Eagles for a major qualifier? It won't happen. It's not about doubt. It will not happen. We played Brazil on Sunday. That list came out weeks earlier, even for a friendly match. So it won't happen. So it's a whole lot of things. It's about how we handle these guys. It's about the priority we also place on it. It's what you would have expected is that we should place so much priority on this that if we make good representation at the Chan, not even the qualifier, we get to Chan and we have a good representation. This should be a pool of where we can pick, okay, 2-3 players can join the main Super Eagles team. But because we've not seen this particular competition that way, so we handle it just how it comes.
And we tell ourselves it's Togo anyway. We should, and we're paying for it. We're paying them. All right. We told you earlier that Coach Imama Makakabo has unveiled the squad, 20 players in that squad. So let's allow you to see the players, make up your mind. I, for one, do not like to criticize the choice of players that any coach makes. I love to see the results, then make my comment. So the goalkeepers, of course, where a lot of people would say, ideally, it should always be number 1 on this list. So he is there. Adamu Abubakar from Wiki Tories and Theophilus Afeloi from Ehimba. Let's just pause a little. 3 goalkeepers. I mean, we should be here that is not, even though we're not trying to fault the choice has been made. But, I mean, Who do you think should be here that is not?
Personally, if Ikechukwu Ezenwa is not going to be the first choice here, then he shouldn't be in this team.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
All right.
any other goalkeeper, Suraj Aileso, any other goalkeeper in the...
So that it won't be a waste of space.
It is actually if he's not the first choice.
Okay. All right. So let's move on then. Defenders in the squad. Let's see. Stephen Mayo from Eyimba. Ifeanyi Weke from Kano Pillars. Ifeanyi Nanema from Eyimba. John Lazarus from Lobby Stars. You have Ebube Duru, also from Lobby Stars. Daniel James, Plateau United. And you have Olisa Nda from Remo Stars. These are the guys that are supposed to keep the Sparrow Hawks from scoring.
Probably the only name that I really do not know why that young man is not being selected for any of the national teams. And that would be the former, now with Eyimba, former captain of MFM, Austin Okpara. I've seen him play a lot of times, and I think he's probably one of the best defenders in the MPFL. And for 2-3 years now, his name has not even been mentioned as a French player, not to talk of a regular for the Super Eagles B team. But for whatever reason, this is a coach that you expect to know the home-based players very well. He won the league with Rangers, and that's where even that statement becomes a bit more annoying for so many people. But like you said, the result will count if this list is the best.
I'd love to make a pass, just pass on whoever is on this list.
And whoever is not.
And I can't call to question how well Coach Imama knows this league. You just said it won the league with Rangers, is doing there. So, I mean, I can't begin to do all of that. But at the end of the day, what matters is the results. And I hope we're not going to start hearing funny things like, oh, they were not able to interpret.
And even if
practice.
they lose, be magnanimous enough as a coach to accept it as your defeat.
Don't
push the blame on the players.
It's not the losing, it's how you lose. It's how you
exactly.
lose. If Nigerians see them putting effort, putting a good shift, play very well, I will probably accept that the damage was already done in the first leg. But if you do not do that and you come back and tell us those boys, I don't know. So I don't want to get emotional. So let's look at the midfielders and look at the list. All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little, but I mean you can understand. We have Anthony Shimaga from Rangers, Ibrahim Olawoyin. Also from Rangers, Fatak Badamosi from 3SC, that's Shooting Stars. We have Ndifrike F. Young. This young man seems to always pop up and highly regarded by a lot of people from Aqua United. Samuel Matthias are also in this squad. He plays for Aqua United. Let's just pause a minute or two. Midfielders, anybody that should be here that is not?
Again, I'm looking at this midfield, and I think Ndifrike is a good ball player, someone that can drive the ball, can move and run with the ball.
Scored a couple of goals with under 23.
Yeah, with under 23. Fantastic player for me. Probably is still playing within himself. He needs to come out and fulfill the promise that most of us know he has in him with his ability. I'm trying to pick his name, Onuwa. Maybe Onuwa also will probably do something, but I know so many people will talk about his size, but we see shorter players probably do more magic.
Yeah.
And so maybe Onuwa, again, should be in this team, particularly in recent time, so the season just passed. I said just passed now, but that's a few months ago, by the way. The point is, he was a regular for Eyimba, and even on their continental campaign in this present season. So I think he probably should have gotten a look in. But he was never even invited in the first place. So there's no way he could have been part of this 20.
Okay, so, all right, the forwards, the guys that need to help us salvage the situation. We'll talk about the scenarios later on. I mean, a lot of the calculators are out already. I mean, that's the situation where we find ourselves. Sanusi Ibrahim from Nassau United, Mfomundo, Aqua United, reliable goal-getter, we must say. You also have Wagwa Inyima from Kano Pillars. You have Sikiru Alimi from Lobby Stars. Then you have Ruben Bala, plays for Eyimba, the Aba Elephants. And these are the forwards. I guess I really can't think from the top of my head who should be here that is not. But a lot will be resting on the shoulders of the guys whose names, appear in that forward line.
The key thing is that the top two goal scorers in the last season, they are both here. So Nasi Ibrahim of Nasarawa and then Mfonda, of course, you know, Mfonda is a regular name. For me, the interesting person here is Nyima Nwangwa of Kano Pillars. Workaholic player. Might not always get you the goals, but if it's for work rate, you always get him. He'll give you the hot goals too. So in a match where you need 3 goals and not consider any, I'll probably go with those 3. Even from the word go. And maybe that is me pushing for a 4-3-3 formation. I hope that's what the coach is thinking. Just go with those 3 and see what they can do in the first 45 minutes. Because this is not a game that sitting back is not what you need here.
Yeah.
You go all out. You must get into the face of the Togolese.
I mean, you need to find the back of the net in the first 10 minutes.
You're down already. Of course, losing at home will be more embarrassing than losing 4-1 away from home. But losing in any form and not going to chant because of Togo is worse in any case. So why not just go all out and see what you can do? And so I will push these 3 because these 3 players, for me, they are tested and I believe they are also trusted.
All right, so let's talk about the scenarios. You just talked about one earlier. 3 unreplied goals. But
Togo scores first.
What if Togo scores?
And then you score 4 and see what happens.
So, I mean, these are the scenarios. 3 unreplied goals takes us through.
Yeah.
If Togo scores and we score 4 penalties,
yes.
If anything does not happen in extra time.
Or we score 5.
But if they score and we don't want it to go to penalties, it has to be by 4-goal margin.
Yeah, by 4-goal margin.
So if they score 2, we have to score 6.
Yeah.
3, we have to score 7.
Doesn't
it become more difficult?
It's difficult enough in itself.
The way it is.
That's why you notice that twice I've mentioned the 3-0 scoreline because I believe that's the safest thing.
That's easier.
I mean, and that's also the kind of scenario that in game management you can still manage. You know, sometimes when your opponent keeps scoring and you need to keep adding one more goal, sometimes you even confuse what exactly do we need. We've seen that happen in the Super Eagles before.
Yeah, 2011.
Against Guinea. And when we are 2-1 up.
Where 2-1 could have taken us.
And then we went out for the third goal. So the safest thing, imagine that day if the Super Eagles had not considered that single goal. We'll be in and we'll have been calm. It's concession of that goal that created the whole confusion. And obviously, I hope it won't happen this time because pressure, tension sometimes can cause some of this confusion. Imagine if for any reason we concede 2 against 2. The calculation, you'll be so shocked that even if you're at the stadium, even the fans will start arguing about the result that will take us through. So for me, the safest thing is just go with your 3-0. And I hope we won't concede against 2 on Saturday.
A lot of people that saw the game, I didn't see it. I have to be honest, I didn't see the game live. But those who saw the game said the boys didn't play badly. It's just that the scoreline didn't paint the picture of what transpired in the game. That it wasn't, But at the end of the day, what everybody remembers is that 4-1.
I mean, if they played well and they considered 4, they should play badly and score 3.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters to me.
But the question in that preamble is, do you think these boys are good enough? Especially if they've received knocks from the manager about not being able to interpret his tactics. That even that statement in itself is something that I do not like from someone I respect a lot. But now that the coach has said that, now it's crunch time. Can anything have changed between 1 month? Will they now understand the tactics? Are they good enough? You also talked about game management because the coach won't come to the field.
You see, to be honest with you, I think these guys are good enough. This list that I have here, they're good enough. From the goalkeeping to the defense, I think these are some of the best legs. I'm not saying overall these are the best we can pick, but you'll never have a team. The preference of the coach will also come into his team selection. So you can't take that away. The only problem, and let me say that clearly, that I'm looking at the balance of this team. Okay, Imba has about 5. Imba Rangers players are probably
the
most active. And I'm looking at the shooting stars. I'm asking what have they done in recent time, other than the preseason tournament in Ijebuode that they won recently. I'm asking what has Wiki Torres done in recent time, Adamu Abubakar. And I'm also asking Lobby Stars players, Plateau United players, what have they done? And they're on this list. So maybe those little things might affect this team.
Right.
So don't expect the most fluent, and that's why I'm not particular about the way they play. I'm particular about the results.
All right. So Damilola is particular about the result. I guess all of us are. All right. We need to go on a break. When we return from that break, still so much for you on Sports Tonight. All right. Welcome back. Let's leave football for a while and go to handball. They just concluded Handball Premier League. They're very interesting. Of course, we followed it here from especially phase 2, start to finish, everything concluded. So let's just look at the final day results. Damilola will take us through some of the high points, and of course, we'll look at the teams, the selected players that made the teams, and take some reactions as well. Final day results for the men. You had Owene Kings defeating Prison Key Boys, 23 points to 21. You have Lagos Seasiders defeating Sokoto Rima, 40 points to 31. You have Kada Stars squeezing past Plateau Vipers, 22 to 21 points. You have Bono Spiders losing, but it's a close game, to COS Shooters. Of course, Safety Shooters defeated Niger United, 34 points to 29. And you have Kano Pillars defeating the Defenders, 29 points to 21, and on the strength of that, Kano Pillars, of course, came out on top. Before we go to the ladies, let me just get your thoughts. A lot of people have commended the Handball Federation, talk about this year, how everything has been smooth, and what's your takeaway, really?
My takeaway is when you have the right person or the right people in the right place, you get the right result. For a long time, it seems as if it was rocket science to get the Handball League going. And then the new board led by Samuel came on board, and we've had it consistently. And it's not just having the league. It's about the fact that the league is also sponsored. And that's a major factor. You could see the stiff competition in these. I was there, particularly for the last day of last year. I couldn't make it yesterday when this one wrapped up. But all the vibes, all the stories coming out from Roe Park has been
By the
positive.
way, this is Kano Pillars, eventual champions.
And I must say that handball is on the hop in the country, largely because of the people managing the game at the moment.
All right. So pictures you have right there, what you're seeing right now, how Kano Pillars emerged champions, beating the Defenders, 29 points to 21. And of course, on the strength of the good results that they've had, it brought them to the top. All right, let's talk about the ladies now. Let's quickly take a look at the results. There you have it. Ghana Police. I love this name. Ghana Police and Edo Dynamos had to settle for a share of the spoils, 31-31. And the Imo Grasshoppers defeated Seasider Babes, that's 27 points to 21. And you have Plateau Peacocks losing to Safety Babes, 29 points to 31. That's how that panned out. Your thoughts? I mean, did you see any difference? I don't like asking this question because you get accused of probably being a chauvinist or anything, but did you see any difference in terms of the level of play, the men and the ladies? I didn't see anything. I mean, both were good to see. It was pleasing on the eyes. You had to look well to know, okay, these are the ladies, and that's what I love to see. Good competition, good play, and I don't know, your own thoughts. I don't know if what I saw was different.
I think I agree with you. Maybe the only difference is that while the men will give you a bit of physicality, the ladies will give you a bit of finesse. And I think that's the difference.
That's the only choice that they had.
The difference, They give a bit of
because of their delicate nature, you see more
the men
finesse
can be a bit
in their game.
of too much muscle sometimes. But it's good for the game. It's good. And handball is a sport that will always draw the crowd if it's properly packaged and is well presented to the people.
And were you surprised with Safety Babes emerging winner?
No, I think they deserve it. Over the 2 legs, the Abuja first leg and then coming to Lagos. I mean, it's a league. It's not a knockout competition.
It's not what you do on the final day.
I mean, it's a league. It's not what you do on the final day.
Law of average.
It's a marathon team. So if you're sitting top, it must be because you've done better.
All right. You've done better from day one to the last day, not just what, and scenes of joyful scenes of celebration, safety babes, of course, a little bit of prize money as well, and I mean. It's their time under the sun, and they have to enjoy it. Let's just take some reactions from the handball clubs that participated in this year's edition. Then we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
We put in more effort. Our training, we extended, we trained harder, we came prepared, and then we came thinking only of winning, not coming second, but want to take back our position, which we have been for several years. For us, the safety babes, we were only thinking of winning because we came prepared. So we were not scared of anything. We came, we gingered ourselves, we trained well, and we came all out to play and win the game. We will keep training well to come better and better every year because we must lift the trophy every year. Women had a lot of challenges. Marriage, childbearing, a lot of things drag others down, and then sometimes some parents doesn't want their daughters to involve in sport activities. But as I talk to you, sport is one thing that keeps youths going. It keeps your mind up and doing. And then for the women, I think we are doing well here, those of us that are here. And I advise the younger ones to follow suit.
Sometimes when you play in the league, it's a difficult thing, So last year we were sixth, and when we got back home, we just felt what are those things we needed to do as a team. And we went back to the drawing board with the management, with the leadership of our chairman, Alhaji Brian Galadima. I said, hey, come on, I must have a good team this year. And here we are, good team, and 2019 Premier League champions. Sometimes it's not getting to the top, it's sustaining the top. We hope to, and with the management we have, we can keep this crop of players for next season. Players move for greener pastures and you can't stop them. Maybe they have a better offer, you can't stop them. But we hope to keep this crop of players for next season. For now, I'm a Pillars through and through. But the job as it is. But you cannot live where you are comfortable with. So I'm comfortable in Pillars, and you'll see me next year by His grace.
If you look at the difference in point between the teams, the first, the second, the third to the fifth, it's just a slight difference of 2-3 points between them. So it shows that the standard is very high, and we are very happy for the Handball Federation of Nigeria as a whole for putting this competition to this level. It is highly recommendable. As for the civil defenders, we are doing our best. Most of the players that you see, they are personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and it's just 1 or 2 volunteers that are within us. So we try as much as possible to get sportsmen recruited, and the Corps is doing its best to see that it's encouraging sportsmen in the area of recruitment. So I believe by the grace of God, the recruitment that is coming up, the Commander General is very, very spirited in employing sportsmen so that to boost this game. In fact, in the sports today generally, civil defense is the first to reckon with, and we are very proud of that.
We are better off than that of the last year. In this championship, we trained and we performed wonderfully well. The teams we are supposed to win, we won them. Those we are supposed to lose, we lost them. There's limitation, but I thank God for the director we are having now and the chief of army staff. All the players we needed that are in the Northeast, they were all released to us to come and play, to come and join us. Even though some of them came and met us here. But I want to believe that next time, as we are going back, we will stay there and continue to our campaign. Plus tournament is to recruit younger players into the Nigerian Army so that next year when we come, we will lift up the cup.
I'm glad to have new champions. It shows that the game is growing. It shows that the game does not, nobody is a monopoly of the game, so we are glad. I think this year there were lots of upsets. There was no clear winner till the last day. The display of games was at a high level. We had provided insurance for the teams. Everything, if you ask me, I think even the arrangement and the logistics this year is significantly better than what it was last year. We all want to play on a home and away basis, but the logistics is not as easy as it is. Most of these clubs are still struggling. to fund themselves financially, and they're even struggling to come for this one that is in 2 phases. You can imagine what it will be if we play home and away.
All right, you listened to a lot of people. Last person who spoke, the president of the Handball Federation, Sam Ocheo, trying not to blow his own trumpet, but the results are there for everyone to see. It was a good competition. You listen to the coach of Safety Babes, you listen to the Canopilas coach, the defenders as well, had some things to say. I'm happy how all of this turned out, and even the president himself admitted that everything about this year's competition was better than the previous one, and it's something commendable.
Very commendable, very commendable. And it's the last statement he made there, I mean, that resonates with me. The fact that if the Handball Federation had been deceiving themselves that we want to run a league and let's do a proper league home and away, then we probably would not have this.
A lot of walkovers.
Because you will have clubs that will not turn up and a lot of walkovers, and that would just rubbish the whole effort. But then they figured that if you ask this club to keep traveling, I mean, for the men, you have a total of about 12 teams. That means you make like 11 trips away, and you have to host 11 teams as well. That's some massive budget compared to going to Abuja and playing one round and then go back home and re-strategize and then come back. Which means that the most important thing is that we have a league, and the federation will be able to sit down and come up with something that will work. I'm saying this, I don't want to mention a particular sport, but I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Trying to do what everybody is doing that you don't have the capacity for is not what we want.
You have to look at the peculiarity of your situation and look at what is workable.
Exactly. If all we could have is a league of 8 teams, then let's go ahead and have that. Let's go ahead and have that.
If the 8 are the ones that meet the requirements,
let's go ahead and have that. There is no need having 20 teams when you will not have anything in 6 months.
Let's not go there. Yeah, I don't want to go that route tonight. Okay, let's still stay with handball. Let's look at the most valuable players in the men's category and in the women's category. Let's just quickly run you through that. Damilola, there you have it. No surprise. It has to be somebody from Canopilas. Mike Solomon from Canopilas is the most valuable player for the men. Hope Sunday, Plateau Peacocks. For the ladies, of course, they didn't win, but posted good performances. And the highest goal scorers, let me allow you, read out this. I'm sure you know some of these names as well.
Solomon Oche, 17 goals, Kala Stars for the men. And for the women, that's a scary number. Adaobi Okoro, 144 goals.
Imagine, for the defenders.
Yeah, and they played lesser matches.
Yeah, well, so that's it. So let's just also look at the fair play. Okay, team of the season for the men. You have Mike Solomon, Canopilas. You have Mohamed Anas from Niger United, Chris Ogedengbe from Canopilas, Mudashiru Abdul Majid from the defenders, Shehu Aliyu from Niger United, and you have Emmanuel Amadi from Safety Shooters. This is the team of the season for the men. Let me allow you to do the honors for the ladies.
For the ladies, Toyin Yusuf, Plateau Peacocks, Grace Gramire, Seasider Babes, Hope Sunday, Plateau Peacocks, Joy Dangana for Defender Babes, and Vivian Wande of Edo Dynamos.
Wow, so these are fair play trophy. Let's see, you have bonus spiders for the men, Abia Valiance for the ladies, fair play trophy. I mean, for behaving well and good conduct and proper behavior. So it goes to bonus spiders for the men and Abia Valiance for the ladies.
Some consolation for those two teams.
It is.
Some consolation. They didn't win, but at least they didn't.
Whether you like it or not, some sort of recognition.
Yeah.
For your conduct, even though everybody would have loved to
win.
be going away as the best team, but then again, this is something that you can build on. I remember in 1994 at the World Cup, even though we got knocked out in the second round, the fact that our supporters club were adjudged as the best.
That was a big deal.
It was to me.
First time at that level.
It was me. So I guess I understand what it means to these teams that have won. Maybe next time they come, they will be taking the big one away. So That's it. Okay, so I think we're done with handball. So let's quickly take this one, talking about basketball. Let's just show you fixtures for day one of the Nigeria Women's Basketball League. Is going to start soon, and there you have it on your screen. It's good that that is happening. We've had a whole lot of issues, but you know, recent performances of the national teams has been heartwarming, and we hope that all the whatever issues that the stakeholders have, they will be able to bury the hatchet and just let the key actors do their thing. So you have Plateau Rocks taking on Delta Force. You have Dolphins taking on Black Gold. You have First Bank taking on Nigeria Customs. You have Air Warriors taking on MFM Queens. So national finals, day one fixtures, your thought. I guess you're happy as I am that we're getting to see all of this.
Yeah, and I'm happy that this will be in Lagos.
Just that, or the fact that
no, the league has been on.
Port.
The league has been on for us to have these top 8 teams, but we've not had any action in Lagos in recent time for the women. It's good that this is coming to Lagos, and for MFM, new team, probably the newest entrant into the
gradually
basketball
turning to
family.
a sports club. Football, basketball, some other sports here and there, and you know, I always like the model of being a sports club. It means
It's good.
you are into.
It's good, particularly when you have the structure to manage it and sustain it. I hope that the story with the basketball, particularly this team, will continue to be a good story. The stories around them has been some fantastic feel-good stories. Because if you see the result they've been churning out in, I mean, just about a year into the league, and for them to be in the top 8 is a big deal, really. Even if they don't win, they've overachieved by my own record.
My own take is that I hope that the news will always be about this, not about the other issues, because sometimes even when the good things are happening, it gets overshadowed by some of the other things happening behind the scenes, you know, fights here and there, some issues. But like you said, a lot has been going on. Sometimes it does escape under the radar, you know, but it's good that this is happening, and hopefully things will work well, and we'll see how all of that pans out. All right, welcome back. Damola, let me just allow you to continue where you left it off. Mesut Ozil. You think Unai Emery is a bit unfair? You know, he said it not in plain terms, but he said, look, I need players who can work for the team. And I think that's what always counts against Mesut Ozil.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you mean by work for the team.
Run around, chase the ball.
Ozil would not give you that. Ozil has never been like that, and at slightly over 30,
even under Jose,
he didn't do that.
He didn't do that.
He's never going to give you that. Ozil is that player that is your typical number 10. Maybe the difference is he has no defensive quality. Let me put it that way.
And
then you must have other players to do that.
He's not really central.
He's not really central.
They just try to go up.
He moves around that, but he will give you the touch on the ball, the dribbles, the chances, the assists to be there, and then he will give you the hard goals here and there. If that's what you want in your number 10, Ozil is your perfect fit. But if you don't want that, my take is, if Emery does not want Ozil, there is really no need to keep him there for this long. Right or wrong, Solskjaer was bold enough to say, I don't want Lukaku, I don't want Sanchez. These are big players. If you had said that about Ozil, I tell you, he'll have gone. So for me, I don't like a situation where a big player like that, because he can't fit into your structure or what you want, and then you keep him on the bench. I think, for me personally, I think it's a bit disrespectful.
Okay, so it's not just Ozil going through all of that. Mustafi as well.
Mustafi's case is different. Mustafi's case is different.
A lot of people say probably it's justified. I do not know. We'll see. Time will tell. A lot of people still feel that there should still be some space for Mesut Ozil in that team.
Is Ceballos doing better than Ozil? Is it
marking? Because of graft.
Is it marking?
People who can cover.
I don't think Ceballos is doing better. The difference is he's younger.
Okay, all right. So we'll leave it at that. Unai Emery is paid to solve problems, so we'll see. All right, another manager who's been paid to solve problems but appears not to be solving those problems is Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's been telling anybody that cares to listen that, look, I don't need any reassurances. I know that I'm going to be here for, for the long time. I'm planning long term. I'm looking beyond the season. When you hear that, you have to keep yourself from laughing. You just told me earlier, it's just a few points away from relegation.
Just 2 points.
And I don't think anybody in that United board would be happy with the current situation with United.
The truth is, if United slip down into that relegation spot, there is no future with Solskjaer on the bench. Maybe at that point, somebody will remind him that even as a player, he was more or less on the bench than on the field. And so they might just find another bench for him at some point. But on a more serious note, I think he's doing his job within himself. We are not seeing the results. It's quite unfortunate because he's somebody I really like. I was one of those that celebrated his appointment and when the results were good. But in recent time, particularly the business they did during the summer, I wasn't impressed. I don't see any reason why you should let go of a Lukaku if you're not going to replace him. I also do not think Sanchez here maybe had not delivered, but Sanchez in that team makes the team stronger, not weaker.
Okay, and quick one. We have less than a minute, but a quick one. An already depleted Manchester United is going to play against Liverpool without David De Gea and Paul Pogba. So, what's the likely outcome?
Well, I think the only positive they should pick on is that the last 13 times Man U have hosted this fixture, they've only lost once.
Okay.
And they've had issues within their